came out when the game had extremely high production values and a lot of time was spent in it on it. This right here is actually the gate, the front entrance to the original city of Kinos, which if you played the original EverQuest, you know what I'm talking about. So you would go in here, you go through here anytime you wanted to go into Kinos, and up here would be like all your shops and this and that. And out in this direction would be Kinos Hills, and eventually Blackborough and things such of that nature. Now it's not perfect, because I think it's kind of confusing, because you can actually, there is a Blackborough zone in this game, but it may not, like, geographically speaking, it may not match up with the exact location. But it's still just the fact that they put this gate here is just, to me, a great attention to detail and a pretty big nod to the original EverQuest player base. But anyway, now I kind of want to get in, as I show you guys around North Kinos. Now I kind of want to get into the free-to-play aspect of EverQuest 2. Well, I've played a lot of free-to-play games. In fact, my first two videos, or one of my first two videos at least, was a free-to-play game. And the reason I do free-to-play games is, well, because they're easy to install and they're easy to play, and you don't, there's no risk involved. You're not wasting, if you try it, you're not wasting your money. The worst you're wasting is your hard drive space. But anyway, EverQuest 2 went free-to-play, and I was pretty excited because, I hadn't played EverQuest 2 in a while. And I was looking forward to it, and this is really the first time I've tried it. Or, I logged in the other day just to kind of goof around a little bit, and there's some things that I already knew about. So this is not necessarily a shock to me, but it's just, there's some things that really irk me about it. For starters, when I logged in, this is like I said, this character was created a long time ago. I used, when I had a paid account, and like a lot of gear I have, like there's different tiers of gear, just like in WoW. You have Master Crafted, which is like the best crafting gear you can get for a certain level range, and then you have Treasured items, which is like your basic dungeon drops, and you have Legendary items, which are a little bit better than that, and then you have Fabled items, which are even better. And I had some legendaries and I had some fabled items, but you know what? I couldn't use any of them. I couldn't use any of my swords, and I couldn't even use my bow. Why couldn't I do that? Well, if you're a free player, you are completely restricted in terms of the type of gear that you want. You cannot, as a free player, you cannot equip fabled or legendary gear. And as it happened, I don't remember which one they were, but both my weapons, or all three of my weapons, were either fabled or legendary. And I had a really nice necklace, which I cannot use anymore because it was fabled. And there's some wrist armor that I can't use, and a belt that I can't use because it's fabled. And because my character is so close to the end game, level 85, when I only have like 5 more levels to go, I really feel like this character is gimped now. And I almost feel like, well, if I want to play again, I can't play as this character. I will have to pick a different character or start a new character if I want to play for free. Because I feel extremely compelled to pay for the game now if I really want to play my character. And also, this is funny. I opened up my character screen here, and these are my bags. A free-to-play, or a free player, only has access to 4 bag slots. But because I subscribed, there used to be a lot of different levels. It used to be Journeyman and several levels of Journeyman, and then 3 levels of Adept, and then I think it was Master level. But they kind of simplified the spell ranking system a while back. And it says I have a master level sniper shot, but I don't. But because of my because my account is free to play status, I really don't know if I can actually use that skill. Like, I don't know, and I can't test it out because I have no bow. I would have to purchase another bow if I wanted to use it. But because I can't do that, I'm kind of in a bad position. So anyway, I'm going to zone into South Kinos. And another thing that I noticed, and I really, I guess you guys haven't seen it, but when I first logged in, this game actually has, if you're a free player, this game actually has pop-up ads. Yeah, that's right. If you that are constantly, you know, saying, "Oh, will you please subscribe? You know, you get this benefit if you subscribe. You know, subscribe." It's very intrusive. It's almost like I don't feel comfortable playing this game as a free player. Now, if I were, say, a new player who had never, you know, experienced EverQuest 2 and just kind of wanted to check out what the game was about, I would love the free-to-play system because it serves as a sort of extended trial. And I mean, there's a lot of things that you really don't need in EverQuest 2 for a long time. Like I said, a lot of my master level skills and my expert level skills all stem from back when the level cap was 80. Back when I was running some in-game content, which you needed those skills. But if you're leveling a character, you don't necessarily need, you know, all 6 bag slots. You don't need the best of the best gear. You don't need the best of the best spells. So I could see coming into this game as a new player, I would love it because it's like it's like an extended trial. It's like, you know, it's a trial that never ends well until I want it to end, which in which case means until I quit the game or until I subscribe for free. And a lot of free-to-play games feel that way to me more than them actually being free to play. One game that really kind of makes me feel that way also is Lord of the Rings from Turbine. That game actually, once you pass a certain level, you actually have to start buying quests. Like, you have to start paying for quest packs. And at that point, I'm like, well, I would just rather pay $15 a month and, you know, get all the benefits of a subscription and, you know, not be locked out of any content because, you know, $15 a month, it's, you know, especially if that's the only MMO I'm playing, it's manageable. It's not that bad, you know, especially if I really want to take advantage of all the game's features. But again, you know, one game that I really like its free-to-play system, at least in terms of leveling, is Age of Conan. Age of Conan, with the exception of, I think there's a gold limit and I think there's a storage limit as well. But that game is pretty much, well, you are restricted to certain races and classes, but as far as progression and such of that nature, you are completely free to progress. And you only really need to subscribe to the game if you chose to. You should only really need to subscribe to the game, again, when you hit the end game. That's kind of the way EverQuest 2 is, but EverQuest 2 is a lot more restricted. And I know that the original EverQuest is going free to play sometime fairly soon, and I'm extremely excited about that because I have not played EverQuest in years, and I want to log in and run some, you know, join an XP group. You know, my character is, I think he's still level 65, but I'm hoping there's enough people, you know, that level. It's still, you know, I think the level cap in EverQuest 2 is, or EverQuest 1 is, it's either 90 or 95, or it's something incredibly high now. But I would hope that at least I can still find some groups and some enjoyment out of playing. But But again, it kind of scares me. I hope that the game is a little less restrictive as EverQuest 2. And here is a zone called Kinos Harbor, and it will probably be the last zone I show you guys. But yeah, I'm really. But what this is kind of lost my train of thought there, but I'm really looking forward to playing that just to see what all's changed and just to kind of, you know, get some nostalgia going. But I've seen some of the restrictions, and it does seem a little more manageable. Like there are restrictions on spell ranks in that game. But my character's not really a high enough level yet to benefit from spell ranks. There are race class restrictions, I guess, but that's really only if you play a new character. If you have an old character with a locked race or a locked class, well, you can still play as that character, but only that character, with that race or with that class. And also, there's an alt advance point limit of, I think, 250, which... that is absolutely crippling. I would say 250 points. I mean, you know, EverQuest. I'd say most hardcore EverQuest players have thousands of alt advance points at this point in time. Thousands of points. So it's not really going to. So if you really want to play EverQuest seriously, you are going to have to subscribe. I would say eventually you're going to have to subscribe. But again, it should offer you quite the extended free trial and give you quite a large amount of time to actually, you know, try out the game and play it and see pretty much the majority of what it has to offer. And then by that time you can say, well, do I want to devote do I want this to be my new MMO? And if you say yes, then well, there you go. Go ahead and subscribe. But it's just these free-to-play, especially with a lot of these big-name MMOs, they're not entirely free-to-play. Pretty much the only MMORPG that I can think of offhand, and if you can name some other ones in the comments section, let me know. But the only formerly pay-to-play MMO that's now free-to-play, that's actually free-to-play, restrictionless, and completely with a completely changed revenue model, is Lineage 2. Lineage 2 completely does away with any kind of payment plan and is strictly free-to-play. Just like any free-to-play game you download off the internet, that is now Lineage 2. So when a game like EverQuest or EverQuest 2 or Lord of the Rings Online or something like that, even DDO, when it talks about going free-to-play, it does not necessarily mean free-to-play in that sense. It basically means, without saying it, it basically means that it's just an extended trial. The free-to-play features are mostly for new players. It's very difficult, I think, to come into a game as a free player on a former character, especially a former character